Hi Sam. Are you ready for another German vocabulary lesson today?
Hi Alex. Absolutely. What word are we learning today?
Today we're diving into the word
nachdem,
which means after or afterwards.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Is it used a lot in everyday conversations?
Definitely. It's quite common, especially when discussing events in sequence. Just keep in mind that it can sometimes confuse learners because it's not a direct translation of after in all contexts.
I see. What are some of the other meanings?
Well, the most common meaning is after in time-related contexts, like
nachdem ich gegessen habe,
which translates to after I have eaten. It can also mean after when talking about conditions, like
nachdem du das gemacht hast,
meaning after you have done that.
Got it. How does the grammar work for
nachdem,
Great question.
nachdem,
Is a subordinating conjunction, so it introduces a dependent clause. When you use it, the verb usually goes to the end of the clause. For example,
ich gehe nach Hause, nachdem ich die Arbeit beendet habe.
means I'm going home after I have finished work.
So the verb goes at the end. That's good to know.
Exactly. In the past tense, you would say
Nachdem ich gegessen hatte,
meaning after I had eaten. And in perfect, it's
nachdem ich gegessen habe,
which translates to after I have eaten.
That makes sense. I like how it connects different parts of a sentence.
Now, let's talk a bit about the history of.
nachdem,
This word comes from Old High German, where
nach,
means after and
dem,
is a form of the. It has evolved over time, but its basic structure has remained quite stable.
That's fascinating. I didn't know German words could have such a deep history.
Yes, many German words have rich histories. It helps to understand where they come from. Next, let's break down the word.
nach,
Means after and
dem,
relates to the. Together they form the meaning of after the. It's a great example of how German can build words with clear components.
So it's like assembling Lego blocks.
Exactly. And because
nachdem,
is a conjunction, it can't be split into smaller parts in usage, but it does have a clear meaning when you put it together. Now, let's look at some similar words. For example, we have
nach,
which means after, and
nachkommen,
meaning to come after. Also, we have
nachdenken,
which means to think about.
Those are useful. What about some other examples?
Sure. Consider,
Nachrichten,
meaning news.
Nachhaltigkeit,
Meaning sustainability, and
Nachweis,
meaning proof. Each of these words has
nach,
as a prefix.
I recognize those words.
Great. Now let's talk about some more complex words like
Nachbereitung,
which means post-processing, and
Nachfolge,
meaning successor. They follow a similar pattern. Now let's practice speaking. Imagine you're talking about your day. You could say,
nachdem ich gefrühstückt habe, gehe ich zur Arbeit.
which means after I have had breakfast, I go to work.
Okay, let me try.
Nachdem ich aufgestanden bin, mache ich Kaffee.
Perfect. That means after I have gotten up, I make coffee. Now, let's try another situation. Imagine you're telling a friend about your weekend. You could say,
Nachdem ich die Stadt besucht habe, bin ich nach Hause gegangen.
meaning after I visited the city, I went home.
How about this?
Nachdem ich die Filme gesehen habe, rede ich mit Freunden darüber.
Excellent. That translates to after I have watched the movies, I talk about them with friends. Now, just a little note on gender. Since
Nachdem,
is not a noun, we don't need to worry about gender. But for similar words like
Nachricht,
which is feminine, you could remember it ends in
Icht,
That's a good tip.
Let's cover some usage notes.
nachdem,
Is mostly used in formal and informal contexts. You can often hear it in writing and spoken German. Some common phrases include
nachdem ich das gesagt habe,
meaning after I have said that, and
nachdem wir uns getroffen haben.
which means after we have met.
Are there any similar words I should watch out for?
Yes, be careful with
Nach,
and,
nachher,
as they can also mean after, but are used differently. Let's put everything together with some example sentences. For instance,
ich gehe ins Kino, nachdem ich meine Hausaufgaben gemacht habe.
means I'm going to the cinema after I have done my homework.
And
Sie kommt, nachdem sie gegessen hat.
means she is coming after she has eaten, right?
Exactly. And you can also say,
Nachdem die Nachricht gehört hatte, war sehr traurig.
which means after he had heard the news, he was very sad.
Oh, that really helps me see how it works in context.
Now, let's do a quick recall check. First question, what does
Nachdem,
mean?
It means after.
Correct. Next, how do you use it in a sentence?
You place the verb at the end of the clause, right?
Yes, great job. What's the past tense form you would use?
Nachdem ich gegessen hatte.
Perfect. Next, can you give me an example of a similar word?
Nachdenken.
Right again. Last question, what's a common phrase using
nachdem,
nachdem ich gefrühstückt habe.
You did amazing today, Sam. The key takeaway is that
nachdem,
connects events in time and is very useful in both spoken and written German. Keep practicing.
Thank you, Alex. I'm excited to use
Nachdem.
in my conversations.